Cost of living in Manchester, UK. The bustling and culturally rich city of Manchester has a diverse student population attracted by several famous universities in the city. It has become a melting point thanks also to its world firsts and innovation. The cost of living in such a city should be of interest to us all. Besides, at some point, you might have a reason to consider moving to Manchester. So, how cheap or how expensive is it to live in Manchester? Well, it depends. The cost of living in Manchester, UK varies. Lifestyle and accommodation choices play some role. This video looks into all involved in living in Manchester before arriving at the range of figures presented as the estimated cost of living in Manchester. Special consideration. The uniqueness of Manchester, a cosmopolitan city offering a thriving local and international culture, is demonstrated by a high population of students, their teachers and their families. In addition, sports enthusiasts regularly travel from different parts of the UK and beyond to see the red and the blue. All this might greatly expand the scope of its cost of living. Therefore, before we start reeling out the figures, we want to tell you that whatever figure you see is going to be representative of a wide subset of the items of cost described. Those figures are reliable enough to help you in making the determination about living in Manchester. Now let's look objectively at the average of available figures. According to the popular cost of living comparison website, Numbeo, the average monthly cost of living in the city for a single person is around £1,967.39, while a family of four can expect to spend around £3,494.79 in a month. If you're not earning that much, you might find living in Manchester a bit more challenging than an average resident. With a high student retention rate given at 51.5% in Manchester, it's the city with the highest population of graduates in the UK. As stated on several websites that have taken the pain to do the findings and our own survey, the average monthly rent precisely in central Manchester is 53.49% cheaper than the cost of those in central London. Not only that, other cost factors are significantly lower than what is obtained in London. We can cite as an example the average cost of transportation, which is about 57% lower than that in London. Don't forget though, salaries in London are much higher. Now we look at one of them after the other, starting with housing. Accommodation costs. Generally, student housing starts from £350 a month, while private apartments on average cost £700. Those living in university halls or on campus accommodation pay around £400 per month. People living in the central area of Manchester pay an average monthly rent of £1,802 for an 85-metre square accommodation. In older areas, the same property goes for £1,103. To live in a studio apartment in central Manchester will reduce your net monthly income by £847, while similar accommodation on the outskirts of the city costs around £668. It should be ideal for a single person with its usual 45-metre square. If you wish to purchase property in the city centre, prepare to spend upwards of £2,235 per square metre. Notably, the purchase price lowers significantly to a paltry sum of £326 per square metre if the property of your choice is outside the city. Cost of food. Manchester also offers a wide selection of groceries in its countless stores, some with pocket-friendly options. The best way to make a decent amount of savings on groceries is to consider local shops. Thanks to the city's ethnic diversity, you can find private shops with fresh produce and those caring for the needs of those with stricter ethical and religious choices of eating. As a student, you might spend an average of £175 per month on groceries. Of course, that will depend on your eating habits and dietary preferences. If you cook and choose to take advantage of stuff from Tesco or Asda, it'd come down to about £100 per month. What about dining out? Manchester offers no less than great diversity in this. There are supermarkets and restaurants where you can access varieties including Chinese, Indian, Italian and Japanese cuisines. At a business district, a basic lunch costs around £15, but a combo meal at a fast food joint costs around £6. McMeal at McDonald's costs an average of £6. The story might be different if it comes down to a dinner at a pub for two. This may cost around £29, while a sophisticated three-course dinner will go upwards of £58. For a cup of decent coffee in expat areas of Manchester, be prepared to spend around £3.16, while a pint of beer costs around £4.04 at a local pub. Utility bills. If you have a house, you certainly will pay utility, which can vary depending on location, size and type of the house, as well as its usage. In a private accommodation, paying for bills for gas, electricity, cooling, heating, garbage and water adds up to an average of £145 a month. In other places, the price can be as high as £212.20 per month. The utilities of 2 people in the city cost an average of £165.75 a month in an 85-metre square flat. If it's in a studio apartment of 45 metres square, the utility can cost as low as £90.77. In Manchester, the average cost of internet is £29.69 per month. Cost of transportation. The bus services are available across Greater Manchester, and the tram takes passengers to the suburbs of Manchester. Local passengers also occasionally enjoy water taxis from the city centre to surrounding areas. For an adult, a single ticket costs £2.67, while a day's ticket for a total of a train, bus and tram is £8.68. The cost of a monthly bus pass is around £80, providing unlimited travel within the city. You can save money by investing in monthly season tickets for bus, train and tram for £55, as locals do. The public transport offers an annual season ticket costing around £514.60. By buying a System 1 card, you could use any mode of transport of your choice. But if you wish to own a car in Manchester, keep in mind that the parking charges are high and traffic delays cost time and money. It's so challenging to fuel the car as the pump price of petrol continues to soar. Entertainment and recreation. At Manchester, there's no shortage of entertainment options. Taking to movies and theatre, you can have 2 tickets to the cinema for anything between £9.14 to about £15. For the best seats at the theatre, you can expect to spend about £70. If you love to gym for fitness, a membership at the Nice Fitness Club in the business district costs £26 to £28. To use a tennis court on a rental basis, you can prepare to spend £9.14 per hour. Healthcare costs. No matter where you live, your healthcare eats deep into your monthly income. The most expensive healthcare cost in the city is incurred when you have to pay a short visit to a private doctor. In Manchester, this costs around £104.18 for a 15-minute consultation. A box of over-the-counter cold medicine to be used for just 6 days costs around £3.23. However, a box of antibiotics containing 12 doses will cost about £8.68. Childcare cost. Childcare costs all over the UK have gone up significantly, and it continues to rise, such that predictions are scary. While this is slightly lower in Manchester than in London, it's such a big expense to consider anywhere, including Manchester. If you're hiring a registered childminder in Manchester, you can expect to pay somewhere around £294.64 per week. Bear this in mind if you're going there with a toddler, and make the determination as to whether either you or your spouse can quit your regular job for a while to care for your little kids. When it comes to children's education, the only saving grace is the public school. Choosing a private school can be a very expensive option. Though these schools are world famous and teeming with popular foreign students, the annual fees are prohibitive at around £15,321.15 per annum for a preschool on average. Isn't that huge? That's sadly the reality. Despite the allurement and attraction of private schools, therefore, many are turning to public schools in Manchester. And, truly speaking, these schools modestly offer top-notch courses with a well-structured curriculum. Therefore, your child can expect to receive a qualitative education in any public school in Manchester, and this will save you a lot of monthly expenses. We know that you may have slightly different figures from what is here, but we're sure that the difference will certainly be insignificant. Please share your thoughts on this matter. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.